What's the role of motivation in the awakening spiritual path? I'm Jason for AwakenedEssence.com, and motivation is certainly quite key. The 4 ingredient summary. Number 1 ingredient is, of course, sorry guys, what do you want and what you're going to do about it. So this is the what are you going to do about it, and are you actually going to do it, right? And motivation is one of those ongoing things. And in the Laws of Grace course, which is totally epic, and the entirety of section 2 examines this motivation process, because motivation covers a number of things. 1, what do you want? Obviously what you're prepared to do about it, but also, you know, how do you apply yourself to the structure of your awakening, of who you are as a person. You know, we all have one of these, a bag of meat, which has certain requirements and is totally required for you to incarnate your awakening here. Isn't it? Be aware of your backside. Enjoy these crazy, freezing, hungry birds. He's trying to eat my thumb. So your motivation is really that aspect of you in terms of how relentless you are, how, as Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj would put it, how earnest you are. See, watch this guy. Watch how earnest he is and how motivated he is. Hey? You're trying to tell me something, buddy. Hey? And therefore, how much application do you put into your practice, into learning correct practice? How far out of your way do you go to go and see a teacher that's visiting town so you can enjoy their bandwidth and their energy to support you to anchor, to become familiar with the awakening energy, so you can acclimatise it into your body, into your energy bodies. And when life gets tough, do you keep your practice going? Beautiful, Christy. Yeah. Come on, you do another Christy? These are good questions. Because you're a human, it means you have to apply yourself. And how much do you want this? How fast do you want this? What are your strategies to get yourself out of a hard cycle, you know, when life's tough, when you're not motivated? Or what are your strategies for bringing yourself to that true place that you exist at, that place where you're here at all levels, i.e. correct presence practice? Because you've got to be motivated, because it's mathematical. Hi, you're very persistent. Reward persistence. Reward yourself for being persistent, because it all ties into how quickly you will normalise the habit of being present at all the different levels. You're going to come up. You're going to come up on my leg? He has. Look at this. This is a little corella. These are the most timid parrot in this park. And he's just come up on my leg. He's motivated because he's cold and hungry. It's absolutely freezing right now. And I haven't really talked much about motivation apart from in the Laws of Grace course. Come up, come on. There we go. You see, when we're motivated, we might do things that we might not otherwise do, and that's all part of the balance factor, and being really clear about what you want and what you are and are not prepared to do. particularly in regards to your personal boundaries and what you give away, how much of your authority you give away. I recommend you don't give any away, but you check out whatever processes you're using and how it fits into the 9 pillar framework, so you can find any weak spots of your own, and also in terms of a teaching, in terms of how specific it is, how measurable it is, so you can do the practices and see if they have an impact. That's why the third overview ingredient here, and pillar 3, is the rules of evidence. Get clear on what you want, figure out what your motivation levels are, and if you need a hand, check out the coaching and the mastery club. That's why they're there. Because when you're by yourself, it's easy to slacken off and not feel encouraged to keep working away at developing this most amazing habit that will transform your life at every level. So I'm going to see if I can get this little Corella. You can, oh, he's come across! Oh! So what's my motivation right now? It's always a challenge to get these gorgeous little animals on me, because they're the most timid one. They're also the best biters at putting holes in your egg because of their beak design. Hello, darling. How are you doing? And that's the reward. See, he's very cautious. He's got his little cresty up. How are you, darling? And this bird's motivated because, again, it's winter, it's cold. We're having the coldest start to winter we've had in 20 years. Hello, darling. So it encourages you to go further when you're, you know, really wanting it. Hey, you gave me a bite. Luckily you didn't put a hole in me. Actually you did put a hole in me. And everybody just about buzzed off. Well, there you go, cockies. See? You didn't freak out. Presents. You hear that noise? That's why they all flew away. See, sometimes you need encouragement to be motivated, eh? That's the role I can play. And you'll get specific feedback. So, you know, if you really want this awakening thing in a way that it's real, substance-based in your life, rather than just thinking you want it. So what's about to follow is a legacy video from 2019 in winter. And my language is different because I hadn't recorded the laws of grace, which means the 9 pillar framework didn't exist, nor did the 4 ingredient overview. So listen to my language, check out what pushes your buttons in terms of your motivation or what you're not doing and what you want to do. So yeah, with all these motivation videos, I might sound a little bit more intense than usual, but it's important because there's no point wasting your time and your life on stuff that you don't want. Hey, do you want to awaken? Of course you do, that's why you're watching this video. I'm being serious, do you want to awaken? Because the question then becomes is how motivated are you to actually come home to this place where you live in a well, permanent bliss, peace, happiness. Happiness develops actually well after enlightenment, so does the joy. Permanent joy. It's even better than the bliss. Really is just very yummy. How much do you want it? So check inside and give it a 1 to 10. 10 being obviously 10 out of 10. I ask groups this, the overwhelming response is, I know what the overwhelming response is. What's yours? Note it to yourself, be self-honest. How much do you want it? Are you being real about what you've just said? check in. So that number, how much do you want it? Right, we've got what you say you want in terms of how motivated you are to live in this place of exquisite peace, stillness, joy, expansion. To have peace, stillness, composure, resourcefulness, when the day is anything less than nice, i.e. when crap's going on. Okay. Come on, cookies. I hope they're coming through. Right, so you've got that number, right? Oh, I've said it a few times because I really want you to remember that number. Next question, how much effort do you put in? Seriously. What resources do you put in to your awakening, to your deepening and being here? Rate that from 1 to 10. Be honest. Be honest. When crap goes down, what do you do? When you notice, am I present? What do you do? Be real. Self-honesty. It's my favourite catchphrase, isn't it? But that's what's required, unless you've got someone like me in your life that can say, nah, that's where you are. That's what you're doing, take a look. Do you have someone like me in your life that will say, well, this is what's happening, this is where you are, this is what you got to do, look, I'll step you through it. That's my job. It's pretty freaking amazing. Try coaching. You'll notice the difference, especially in the first week afterwards, or right after that session the next day or two, you will notice the difference. That's what it does. What do you actually do? What actions do you do with your attention and your consciousness to give you what this website and what I talk about, or Eckhart Tolle or Adyashanti or all these other great teachers talk about? What do you do? How do you place your attention, and how frequently and how deeply and how consistently, and how often do you remember, and what other things do you have in your life to help support you to have that? These are serious questions. Because if you want this, you're going to have to do something that covers all of those bases. I've been in this game a while. I know what people say. I know what they do. I watch, I observe. Precisely. How much of your day and how often during your day do you check into your presence, your stillness? Because that's what you are. You are energetic nothingness, spirit, call it what you like, that is coming through a person, through a body, through an emotional system, and through a mental system. Are you aware of all three of those? Because when you properly awaken, you are aware of all three of those. So if you're serious about coming home and being at this place where you are at peace, at least at peace, and you're okay with what's going on in life, for some people that's enough. But if you want to come to that place where you are all of this, and the bliss, the love, the joy, the happiness that's exquisite. What are you doing about it? How do you place the two things that you have control over? Your time and your attention. These then have a huge impact on what you do with your life, where you spend your money. So what do you spend in terms of your resource allocation into being here? How do you spend your time and attention, which converts to money? What do you spend to help you be here? Or do you spend it on alcohol, 3 coffees a day at work, which is like $5,000 a year plus, booze? How much of it do you actually spend on having a coach to bring you here? Seriously. For decades, I have curtailed my budget for my mentor, my coach. When I was a student, I'd actually dig into my food budget to see her. Because it was that important to me. So we put our attention and our resources to what we actually, and this is the thing I'm trying to get at actually, I got there eventually. People manifest in their life, and they do in their life what it is that's actually important to them. Otherwise you wouldn't do it, would you? Would you stick a knife in your leg? Unless you actually wanted to self-harm. Would you do that on purpose? So if you're hanging out with the wrong people, if you're spending all your money on alcohol, yet you say, oh, I want to be healthy, if you're spending money on alcohol, then you're actually interested in avoiding life and making your body bad. It's not good for your liver. So if you are serious about coming home, hope the cookers are coming through. If you're serious about coming home, how much time do you put into that each day? How many times do you check in at work? Who do you have around you in your sphere that can be honest with you and you can be with, so you are the essence of what you are? Because where you put your time and your attention is a demonstration of what's important to you. Because your time and your attention are the only two things you have. So some people spend a lot of money on boats to chase fish that are about this big in this lake. They're very expensive. Do they spend money on workshops? Or a coach, or buying a video series? Not likely, right? But they spend a lot of money on a boat. That's a lot of time and attention. That's a lot of time and a job to buy something that's, oh, that one's probably only worth about 20 grand. It's quite cheap, really. Where do you put your attention? Where do you put your resources? Reflect that on what you first gave as how keen you are about being awake. If you're doing activities that drag you down and you say you want to come home to who you are, why are you still doing those activities? Be self-honest. You are what you hang around. Laws of grace. Hanging out with a good teacher is like, you know, putting your body in a spa pool, heats it up. You get used to it, you acclimatise it, and then when you get out of the spa pool and go home, you hold that heat. That's what, you know, Amma the Hugging Saint was in town this year. I spent 3 days with her. Hanging out with someone that feels like me. Oh, she's bigger than me, she's amazing. But it's important. Hearing the waves. Feeling your tummy, feeling your hands, feeling your pelvic floor, feeling your body, feeling any aches and pains, feeling the stresses. And being aware of them, because as you're aware of them and you're aware of all these different body parts and you're aware of your breathing, it will shift and these things will release out. And your presence will deepen. And as you repeat this habit, it becomes normal. Because if you're serious, that's what you'll be doing. Take a look at how motivated you think you are and see how you're applying it into your life and where you place things. If you're really serious, make contact, have a coaching session and see how it gives you a chance to define and get a real clear sense of where you're at with precision. I don't muck around. I'll give you real feedback. Can you handle it? And you will get to this place where you want to be if you can, and you apply and you do what I talk about in these videos and in coaching. We'll get specific. That's what it's about. Maybe you've already got a great teacher in your life and you're listening to these videos as well. Because why? Because that's how serious you are and that's where you're applying your attention. How's your space? What nuances, what new definitions, refinements should I say, have you managed to pick up about what it is you need to do to take your practice, your conduct, your conduct to the next level as the sun starts to disappear. If you're not motivated, then you're not going to apply your attention, you're not going to apply your resources, you're not going to apply your time, which is your attention, into who and what you are. You will not put the effort in to learning the nuances and the distinctions. If you're not motivated, you're not going to be self-honest. And of course you won't take self-responsibility and do something about it. Oh, there is no doer. Those people are lost, let's be clear about that. But, you know, it only comes down to you. What's your evidence in your life? And you know if you're lying to yourself. Well, I don't know, does Donald Trump know that he's lying to himself? Good Lord. Are you Donald Trumping yourself? He's such a great example, isn't he? As the light goes out for today, allow the light, allow your consciousness to give you the guts to look and the motivation that you say you've got, applying your attention and your resources to coming home, because you can do it and you can do it quite fast. 5 years is plenty if you're doing it right. To hit the abiding phase where your awakening is permanent and you never lose the nothingness that you are. still takes another 5 years to settle, because your personality needs to go through that customization process, and more things need to be worked out, and you ground more, and then you ground more and more and more and more even after that. Doesn't stop, actually, I don't think. Take a look at your resource allocation in your life, your time, your money, what you do, who you hang around with, and see if you want to shift any of those. So what you say you want starts matching what you're doing. Be self-honest and evaluate it. If you want to go into coaching, check it out and get some specific feedback. Get in touch. All the details are here, down here in the website, or there'll be links in the YouTube. It's that easy. Expert advice is right here, and you will feel it. You will feel the precision of it. Or I won't do it with you. So I'm Jason for AwakenedEssence.com.